It's extraordinary that mathematics is a subject that is so dispiriting to so many people in education, and yet in the outside world, it is more important than it ever has been in human history. See, in the real world, maths is all about problem solving, modeling, simulation, thinking out what the questions are, analyzing the results, critiquing them. But in education, it looks very different. It's doing calculations, mostly by hand, if you're lucky with a calculator. The problems are small and seem very distant from the real world. I think there are about 4 steps to mathematics. In a sense, it's a process. The first step is posing the right question. If you ask the wrong question about a situation, you're almost always going to get the wrong answer. So you need to ask the right question about your situation, and then you need to turn that from the real world into a maths formulation. Put it into a specific math setup so that you can do step 3, calculate it. Calculating means taking it from your setup to the answer in a mathematical form. And then step 4 is taking that mathematical answer and turning it back into the real world and crucially verifying it. Here's the crazy thing. Around the world, we're taking about 80% of students' time in schools doing step 3 by hand. And yet that's the one step that computers can do better than any human. We should be using computers to do step 3, except in a few edge cases where it is still useful to do mental arithmetic and things. And we should be using students to do far more of steps 1, 2, and 4. We don't want students to be third-rate computers. We want them to be first-rate problem solvers. The basics of mathematics, in my view, are those 4 steps of problem solving. And we should be careful to make sure that we focus on what we're trying to achieve, not the mechanics that allows us to achieve it at that moment.
It isn't important in maths to be fast. What is helpful in maths is to think visually and creatively. Maths isn't just about calculations. They may be the least interesting part. It's actually about patterns and space, seeing things differently and making connections.
Carol Dweck has shown that everyone has a mindset, a set of beliefs about their own learning and potential.
People with a growth mindset believe anyone can learn and that they can grow their brains through hard work.
People with a fixed mindset think that a person is either smart or not, and that smartness is unchangeable.
Something else we now know from brain research is that struggle and mistakes are really important. A research study found that when people made mistakes, their brains grew more than when they got work right. The study found that there are 2 possible synapse firings. The first comes when you make a mistake, and the second one comes if and when you're aware you've made a mistake. Well, the best knowledge we have on this is your brain grows when you make a mistake because it's the time that the brain is challenged and is struggling, and those are the best times for brain growth.